Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
You know how we're always talking about the importance of self-care and managing stress?
Absolutely.
Well, today,
We're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and look at how stress impacts us, not just individually,
yeah,
but as couples.
right.
So get ready because we're about to explore how you can actually turn stress into a relationship superpower instead of letting it
Hmm.
drive a wedge between you.
I love that a relationship superpower.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it.
And to help us unpack all of this, we're going to be looking at this excerpt.
Okay.
It's called Managing Stress Together: How to Avoid Letting Stress Ruin Your Relationship.
Interesting.
And it really dives deep into how couples can avoid taking their stress out on each other and instead use it to actually strengthen.
Their bond.
Yeah, that's so important because I think a lot of times we kind of put on this brave face, when we're out in the world dealing with work and family and all these external pressures.
Right.
But then we come home.
And all that pent-up stress, it just kind of
Yeah,
explodes.
and it's often directed at the person we're closest to,
Exactly.
which you would think would be the last person.
You'd want to take it out on, but...
Right, because they're supposed to be our safe space,
Right.
our support system.
Exactly.
But the thing is, when we're stressed, our brains kind of go into this survival mode, and we're not always thinking clearly or rationally.
That fight or flight response.
Yeah, exactly.
Sticks in.
So we might snap at our partner or, you know, withdraw emotionally without even realizing that we're doing it.
Yeah, I think we've all been there at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you just kind of get caught up in your own stress and you don't realize how you're impacting the other person.
And the worst part is, sometimes we might even expect our partner to just automatically understand what we're going through.
Oh, those unspoken expectations.
Right.
Those are dangerous.
Oh, they can be so damaging because when those expectations aren't met.
It just leads to more frustration and resentment.
Absolutely. And that's why I think this whole idea of stress-reducing conversations that the excerpt talks about is so crucial.
Yes. Tell me more about that.
Because it's really about creating that safe space where you can both just talk openly and honestly about what's stressing you out.
Right.
And not just in a complaining kind of way,
Right.
but in a way where you're really trying to understand each other's perspective.
It's like you're on the same team facing this challenge together.
Exactly. And once you can kind of shift your perspective from me versus you to us versus the problem.
That's when you can start brainstorming solutions together and coming up with strategies that work for both of you.
And that might involve things like dividing up household chores differently.
Yeah, scheduling in some quality time together.
Yeah, even just like 15 minutes a day.
Exactly, just to reconnect and de-stress.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important takeaway for our listeners today because,
Stress is inevitable.
oh, it definitely is. We're all going to face it at some point.
But it doesn't have to ruin your relationship. In fact,
It can actually make it stronger if you learn to manage it together.
and that starts with communication
Absolutely being open and honest with each other.
about what you're feeling and what you need
And then working together to find solutions.
that work for both of you.
Exactly. So instead of letting stress become this divisive force in your relationship.
Use it as an opportunity to grow closer and build an even stronger bond.
Such a great way to look at it.
Now, the source focused mainly on preventing the negative impacts of stress on a couple.
Right.
But it got me thinking,
Can you actually use those tough times to
grow closer as a couple? How
Mhm.
would you actually do that?
That's something to think about, I guess.
Yeah, food for thought.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
And we'll catch you next time.
See ya.